Favorite woman at the Marvel team. Go.
Me.
It's not yourself. Go.
Olivia Vernon. My name is Liv Vernon. I'm a junior architectural designer at Marvel.
I'm Carolyn. I am also a junior architectural designer.
My name's Maresa Amador, and I'm a junior architect designer as well.
It's almost been a year, actually. In like a couple weeks, it'll be a year, which is crazy.
I'm 2 months behind you. I think May. So yeah, it's been around 10 months now.
And I've been here for 2 months, exactly.
Where were you guys before Marvel? Like, where'd you guys go for school? What were you guys up to?
So I grew up in Miami, Florida, and recently graduated with a Bachelor of Architecture from Cornell University. I think I've always been interested in design and architecture. I had the opportunity to go to a design and architecture high school growing up. And so every little decision I made kind of led me here.
I went to UVA to get undergrad in architecture, and I was exposed to architecture at an early age through my mother, who does a lot of work with community design and affordable housing, and was more on this like nonprofit side of architecture. And so at a young age, she brought me along to a lot of like site trips and all this stuff. So I kind of got to explore America through that lens of work. And I just like got exposed to like the power that architecture can have on improving communities. And I feel like once you kind of get a taste of architecture, it's kind of hard to get away from it. And as I got older, I decided I really wanted to pursue it and like continue the family tradition, I guess. She was supportive. She definitely encouraged taking a lot of other types of classes while I was in college, because architecture is a career, but school should be about your overall education. So she really was a fan of taking history and like English classes so that you had like a solid educational foundation as well as pursuing architecture as a field.
My dad did a lot of like landscape design. He wasn't a landscape architect, but he always brought us to site visits. And then my brother actually went into landscape architecture. So I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm going to do architecture instead. So I went to the University of Toronto for my undergrad. And then for my master's, I ended up doing a master's of architecture and a master's of landscape architecture. But here I am now doing architecture at Marvel. So my last firm was a lot smaller. So we were very limited in terms of the types of projects we worked on. But that was like a big reason why I left. So coming to Marvel, the firm is a lot bigger. There's a lot more people to work with. I'm learning a lot more. And I personally think it's more fun because my last firm, all we did was residential towers. And then after like a little bit, it gets a little boring. So at least here I get to work on like a pool, a museum, like all sorts of things.
I'm working on 2 SUNY Downstate projects. One's a library renovation and one is a new university center.
Thanks.
And I am working on a NYCHA Pact project on 2 sites in Brooklyn, Red Hook and Brownsville. And I'm also working on the Hudson River Maritime Museum.
I'm working on the, what's BMB? Battery Maritime Building. So working on that, and then working on a pursuit in FIDI right now.
Oh, I was actually thinking about this the other day. I think it's important to maintain your confidence. School and studio can be very difficult, and sometimes you feel like you get like stuck in these design problems. And I feel like it's important to remember, like, even when things are hard or like not working the right way, to like remain confident that like you will figure this out. Like, you are smart, like you are capable. It is just sometimes hard. And I feel like just remaining confident in yourself and your abilities will take you a long way.
I have something to add to that. I think you also want to be confident in your designs, and then like you want to see a design through. If it doesn't work, then that's okay. It doesn't work. You just want to stick with it. Don't change like direction too much, and like explore it, and then just go from there.
With being confident in yourself, that comes with advocating for yourself, and advocating for your project, and being able to tough it out. But also allow yourself like to push boundaries. That's always important. And I think that just through history, we've seen that, going back to why we're here is like Women's History Month. And there's so many pioneers that had to like push boundaries. And so, like continue that tradition and continue that, because that's how like great design happens.
One thing that I appreciate about Marvel is that like you're included in all of the meetings on a project. There isn't like a hierarchy to the invitation for your project meetings. So like you just get to see it all, which kind of to your point about repetition, helping you learn. I feel like just being able to like see how more senior people like operating these meetings has been very helpful, and just like a broader understanding of the design process. So I think it's like both design inclusion, which I think Marvel does a great job of like fostering and encouraging young designers, but also just like being open and showing like the whole process and like client relationships and with all the other consultants. I've really appreciated like being a part of that.
I agree with that one. Another one was a lot of my seniors always encouraged me early in the process to like come up with different iterations, which was something I didn't really get a lot of experience at my last firm. Like they always told me just explore it, and then we'll gather together and we'll pick a couple to like go from. I think that's a great learning experience. No? No.
So how do you feel like you are able to connect with the other juniors if you're not working?
We sit together.
We sit like this.
Like
her, me, her. Which is like, even though we're not on the same projects, we've been on very similar like concept level projects. So I feel like sharing what we've learned and like or just seeing the types of drawings each of us have been working on, that's been a helpful way to like collaborate and learn from each other without being on the same project.
And then we did do the design shred thing recently. It was like a short little come up with a donor wall design thing, but that was fine.
That was fun. That was a bunch of junior designers. Yeah. It was just like a few 1-hour meetings to come up with like a cool idea for a donor wall. So that was exciting also to like see everyone's talents and their drawing styles. I find it nice that you have the option to work from home without explaining yourself. So I think that's where like flexibility is like really important. Like last week I was having really bad cramps on Friday. I like didn't want to be in the office for that, but I didn't want to like lie and be like, oh, I'm feeling sick. But I do think in general, like I prefer working in the office because I don't know, it's nice to be around people and to be in an environment that has like this goal of like designing and working and being really focused. Also, again, like I said, like the weird little like tips and tricks that you learn from your neighbors, or just those more informal learning opportunities.
Off the top of my head, I worked with Lissa and Martha directly for a project, which I loved. Everyone is so encouraging. Martha has so much knowledge, same with Lissa, and it was just a really positive experience. So hopefully that project goes forward and I get to keep working with them. I think there have been in other projects meetings where, you get cut off It's not the best feeling, but when I was working with Martha and Lissa, I mean, they were really encouraging to begin with, and then the team that we were working with, the clients, they were also mostly female, and I don't know, like it was such a positive experience. Everyone gave so many like words of affirmation. They're like, wow, thank you for your hard work. And I was like, oh, I'm getting recognized, thank you. So I don't know, I love women.
Wait, should we take the cat down?
That'd be great. I think you're called like the ADHD people.
Excuse me.
This is what it's like being a woman in architecture.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that my mom and my sister are off the top of my head like the women who have influenced me the most, and mostly because they're the first storytellers in my life, right? Introducing me to the idea of narratives, of storytelling, of creating, and so, you know, shout out to them. But then more specifically at Marvel, I've had the opportunity to work with Ishita firsthand, Danielle and Erica, who are, to their own accord, like amazing women, but also even more amazing designers, who have taken the patience to take me under their wing. So I've learned a lot through them, even like though it's only been 2 months. 2 months, yeah.
My mom and my sisters, I only have sisters. I grew up in like an all-female household, so when I work with a team of women, it just like feels much more natural to me. Like that's just kind of how I've always operated, I guess, and so I like that. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's just no. I don't know how to do this without being mean, or without being like controversial.
She doesn't want to get canceled.
You don't want to cancel your event, or
No, I don't know.
like
We can
you
cut it
wanna
out.
Exclude certain women you work with versus
No, all the women I worked with are incredible, and each one is like so different. I think that's part of the difficulty of answering questions like this, is that you want to shout out each individual's style and technique. Like everyone I've worked with has had a different approach to both design and then also managing, and I think there is a part to each one of their styles that is like inherently feminine. I think there's just a different method of communication, but it's like hard to, so it's like easy to summarize it all as like the women I've worked with, but also each experience has been very different, and all have been, I mean, everyone who works at Marvel is so open to teaching you. I think that's one of the great things about Marvel's environment. It's very much a like, oh, here, let me teach you how to do this so then you can grow and be better at it, versus like, oh, why can't you do this? It's a very much a teaching environment. And the women I worked with, which includes Ishita, Justine and Sarah on the library, that was so much fun. And then right now, working with Jen, it's just, they're each so incredible, and each one of them I'm like, okay, I want to be like that in that way and that in that way. So I think it's the diversity of the role models at Marvel. It's not like there's only one woman or 3 women, there's so many, so you can like see yourself in all these different ways and bits and pieces.
Or one of the biggest things that were like prominent when I was applying, when I was looking at firms, was the amount of women in leadership at Marvel. And so when I was applying to firms, and especially when I came in for the interview, like seeing the amount of women, and then again like just repeating like the amount of women in leadership really helps someone who's in a junior position like see themselves in different ways and in different positions. So I think that Marvel is doing really good in that. Shout out. I only follow Marvel on all social platforms. I'm joking. Don't do that.
I mean, first of all, it definitely should be celebrated. But I actually haven't seen that much. Like I'll see a call out on LinkedIn or like a post on Instagram, but I really like that you guys are doing this like podcast type thing. And I know we have like the talks that feature like Anya and stuff. So I think that's pretty cool, and to have us involved.
Is that too cheesy?
No, I love it.
Yeah, I think I've been seeing less overall content about Women's History Month this year. I don't know if that's my algorithm or something else. And if it's something else, I think it's important to continue to celebrate people and diversity and all these movements, even if it's not what's popular or what's like what you're demanded of. And so I think as long as we just need to keep celebrating and uplifting and being there and highlighting like all these amazing individuals.
Back in 2022, I was in Rome, and there was this exhibition called Architecture in the Making or something like that. Don't quote me. But it was essentially this exhibition at the Maxi in Rome that was talking about women in architecture, both like historic women like Eileen Gray, Ina Alto, but also like present day women. And the entire class went to it. And there was discussion over like, is the appeal to the exhibition because the architecture is good and the drawings are fascinating, or is it because we have a need to like celebrate women more so because like we are seen as a minority, right? It shouldn't be just 1 month, right? As many things shouldn't just be delegated to 1 month, but rather how does this become part of the norm?
That kind of reminds me of going through school and you learn about all these different projects, and then the architects for the projects are never women, which, I mean, they're amazing projects, but I think like now, when you're in terms of like looking up to women, I think back when I was going through school, I think the biggest name was Zaha Hadid, and I don't know, I feel like she made such a big influence in architecture, and yeah, like I think that's super inspiring, and I would love to learn more about like other female architects back when I was in school.
Yeah, I would say kind of back to advice to students is don't just accept the canon of architects that are given to you. Take the time to research and search for other examples. Those names that everyone knows are only a tiny part of like a long history of architecture. And so take it upon yourself when you have like a precedent project or any type of research built into studio or into architectural history to just dig a little deeper. And there's already like so many great professors and researchers who have been doing this work and expanding the architectural canon or defining a new one. And follow that, follow those people, follow those professors, and expand your own knowledge and grow your understanding of like who's made this field, who's progressed this field.
Having and being able to celebrate and having the space to celebrate brings up discussion. That's the point of having these types of celebrations and moments to have those discussions and having the space to do so. Because reiterating what Liv said, it is often like we're the forgotten ones, and we are rewriting history during these months. But my point is that it should extend beyond 30 days, like, and the point of Marvel emphasizing women, especially during this month, is so that hopefully next year it's not just a month, it's a constant, it's reoccurring, it's so often that it's not something that needs to be highlighted in your calendar, but something that is just empowering you every single day, right? So
I think it's crazy that I'm here now. So, but in terms of Marvel, I honestly can't wait to work with all the other female architects in the office. Like, even working on that one project, I learned a lot. And like, I'm so curious to like find time to sit down with Lissa and Martha maybe and just ask them about their past, all their experiences, to hear how they got to where they are now. Yeah, and like there's so many opportunities to learn within the office, so I should really go hit them up.
Hers is on maternity leave, and we haven't met her.
She's doing womanly things.
Actually, I would like to say that there are so many mothers and fathers at this firm, and it's so incredible because I feel like it's only made them better at their jobs. Like the time management skills and the way that parents are able to assess levels of urgency at work and their ability to like get something done because they have to is like a very valuable lesson to learn as like someone who has currently no responsibilities besides myself, but to see how people can operate on all these different levels, like with all these different responsibilities in life. It's been one of the most amazing things I've like taken over these past 10 months is like all these working parents and how they do it all and seem to do everything so well. And I know it's not easy, so I'm just like, it's incredible. Shout out to all the mamas. She's an icon. She actually inspired my mom to go into community development. So talk about a legacy of female designers inspiring each other.